Hello there. I interrupt my own regularly scheduled programming to bring you a review. This is the new Laura Mercier concealer. So if you'd like to see my review on mature skin, keep on watching. I already applied my Pat McGrath eyeshadow primer, my Huda Beauty Glow Jam, and my eyebrow products are Kosas today. I am not going to be using an under eye corrector. I want us to really be able to see how this concealer works. This is a brand new concealer by Laura Mercier. Let me start by giving you some of the information. It's called the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Serum Concealer. This is $33. It has 5 stars. It already has several hundred reviews. It comes in 22 colors. The shade I chose is 2C1. This has a natural finish. It has medium coverage, made in Italy with a 12-month expiration date. I pulled up the information on Sephora so I can read you the claims right off of the page. It says that this is a weightless, serum-infused, multitasking concealer that quickly brightens, hydrates, and smooths while providing medium coverage, up to 16 hours of wear time, and a natural finish. The highlighted ingredients here: Hydrolipid Matrix delivers immediate and time-released hydration throughout the day. Paracress Extract firms and smooths the look and feel of skin. Green tea and cacao extract, their antioxidant-rich formula defends against environmental stressors. This is free of parabens, and it does contain less than 1% of a synthetic man-made fragrance. So let me show you the doe foot of this concealer. It's kind of rounded, and you can see that it's angled backwards. So she recommends that you use the pointed end to get into small areas like around the nose, and then she recommends that you use this larger area for larger areas like under the eyes, or if you want to conceal larger areas on the face. So she recommends that you use your fingers to blend this out. That's not my usual preferred way, but I want to follow the directions, so let's do that. So I'm just going to take my finger and gently tap and blend this in. It's blending in really nicely, really evenly. I think that this color is really good. It has, even though it's supposed to have a cool undertone, it is pulling a little peachy on me, which I actually think is pretty good because that kind of acts as a color corrector at the same time. You can see how quickly that blended in with my fingers. Let's take a look under the lights here. I don't have my usual natural light because it's storming here in Florida. So this is, in my opinion, giving me very light coverage. And applying this with my finger, it is, on this side, it's very patchy and splotchy. All I have put under my eyes so far is my moisturizer. So I blended it out a little bit more with my finger. And very, very light coverage so far. So now I'm going to go off the reservation and do it with my way with a brush. So I'm just going to take a tad bit more and dot right here under my eyes. I'm going to use my Anissa concealer brush, and we're going to see how this applies with a brush. It's applying much better with a brush, in my opinion. I think my fingers are a little too sticky, and it was picking up the product. So now that I am using a brush, I'm getting medium coverage, It's blending out really well. Let me smile, see my wrinkles. I think it looks nice under my eyes. I definitely am getting medium coverage. It's not patchy now. This definitely feels serum-y. And I have to be completely honest, I'm not so sure about this. We're going to keep going with our makeup application. I will powder this. We'll see how things go along. But so far, this may be a little bit too serum-y for my mature under eyes. It probably looks okay in this lighting. The lighting is meant to be flattering, thank goodness. But looking up close, I have definitely had better looking under eyes. So let's move on. I have some more Laura Mercier products that will pepper in here. So I'm going to use the foundation. This is the Laura Mercier foundation. I have the shade 32C Toffee. So I chose a concealer that is one shade lighter than my foundation. This is more of a summer foundation. I'm going to use my Anissa foundation brush. I got this foundation last year. I was really excited that Laura Mercier came out with a foundation. And I feel like this is just a really nice everyday foundation. It is pretty creamy. It gives medium coverage. I get a natural finish from this foundation. I get good lasting power with it. And this color is really good for my cool undertones. Next, I'm going to use my Milk Cream Bronzer in the shade Baked. This is one of my favorites. It's a little bit firmer in consistency than the Rare Beauty, but it blends very easily. It's a nice cool tone. I get really good pigment right away, so I usually don't have to go in a second time. I'm going to use the Nude Sticks Cream Blush in the shade Bareback. I got 3 of these in a gift set from Sephora last month. This is a pretty fair color on me, so I'm using it pretty liberally. I'll go on with a Laura Mercier powder blush here in a couple of minutes. Before I powder, let me take a look at these under eyes again. It doesn't look good. Not looking good at all, you guys. And I'm not doing anything different as far as products underneath, application, anything. I'm getting light coverage at most. You can still really see a lot of darkness, especially under this eye. I am going to put just a little bit more on. And then we're going to powder and just see what happens. All right, so let's see how this builds up. I got a hair there that's itching. I just feel like the brush is picking it up. I felt like my fingers were picking it up. So we're going to go ahead and put some powder on this and just see what happens. So I'm going to use a rougher brush to do this. I'm using the original Laura Mercier translucent powder. So let's just see how this looks. This is a good setting powder, and the powder is actually improving my situation a little bit. I was going to go in with a puff, but after seeing how much this wants to lift, I decided to use a brush instead. So I think the powder has really helped this. I think it was just too serum-y, and it was just going all over the place, and it was just very patchy. Now that I have put some powder on over it, it looks like it settled down a little bit. So I'm going to powder the rest of my face using the same powder. On to bronzer, I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario powder bronzer in the shade Light Medium to warm things up just a little bit more. One of my high-end favorites. And we're going to use a Laura Mercier blush. Let's see here, I wrote the shade down. This is All That Sparkles. I thought this was the shade Tie, but that's not what it says on the back. I'm going to use a fluffy brush. This shows up better than I would expect it to. On my skin, I thought that it was going to be really, really light, but this blush shows up beautifully. It is one of the best high-end blushes in my opinion. Really, really pretty. It just blends so easily too, which is very nice. And for highlighter, I'm going to use my Give by Gwen Stefani highlighter. This is in the shade Check My Glow. I did an entire spotlight on Give Beauty. I'm getting ready to do another one on House Lab, so stay tuned for that. I go in depth into the brand itself, the founder, just a lot of deep information. It's kind of like I geek out over makeup for an hour or so. So House Lab is going to be next on my list. This is a subtle but beautiful highlighter. I really enjoy it. For lips, we're going to use the Tower 28 lip liner, and this shade is Work of Art. I really like the consistency of the Tower 28 lip liners, and this shade in particular is very close to my skin tone. For lips today, I'm going to be using Ravi, Ali Glines here on YouTube. She started her own beauty brand, and she loves lip products, so it's no surprise that she chose 3 different lipsticks for her first launch. She chose 3 different colors. This is Dahlia, and these are effortless lips is what she calls them. I got all 3 shades and the little bag that they come in. So what she says as far as this goes is you can use a really light shade and just it's a sheer tint of color, or you can really build it up and make it an opaque lipstick, and it's comfortable. And this is fast becoming one of my very favorite lipsticks in my collection. So there's just one coat, just a little bit of color, a sheer sheen of color. And there it is built up. Very pretty. So for our eyes, I'm going to use a Laura Mercier caviar stick. This is the first time I've used a caviar stick, but just to kind of build up the color in the crease a little bit, I'm going to start with my Makeup by Mario bronzer and just get a little definition here. I really wish this Pat McGrath eye primer had just a little tint to it to help with discoloration and just to even out the color on the upper lids. I was so excited to try that. I figured, you know, the queen of eyeshadow palettes, she would release a really, really good eye primer, but I don't really feel like it does anything. I'm still trying it, still working with it, but especially tonight when I'm trying to go for a little bit more of a sheer look, I really wish I had just a little bit more coverage on my eyelids. So this is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. I got this and the blush in a gift set in December. Let's see what the color of this is. It's Strike a Rose is the color of this caviar stick. Very pretty. I also got the Bobbi Brown caviar sticks, and I will be getting the Hourglass, the Fenty, and the Rare Beauty at some point, and I'm going to do a head-to-head comparison with all of them. That's in the future a little bit, just some of my little video plans. This is a very pretty eyeshadow, and it's going on really nicely. Let's see how it blends out now with my Rephr brush. Yeah, blending out really pretty. So this has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's very subtle, but very pretty. There's that hair that was itching me. I finally got it. Now, eyeliner. I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk eyeliner. I'm going to use this in my waterline. And I'm going to use this for a little bit more definition up here. Everybody talks about her lip liners, but she has some very unique eyeliner colors, and you can see from this eye to this eye how much of a difference a nice eyeliner makes. All right, that's nice. I'm going to bring some down here too. Yeah, that's pretty. So let me get my concealer brush again and take a look at these under eyes. Oh, they look terrible. Can you see right there? It picked up all of my makeup. I'm going to have to just wash that off and start over. There's no fixing that one. So I don't know if it's me and just tonight and if I need to do better prep. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't ever have this kind of problem with concealers. There was one Revolution concealer that I had a little bit of an issue with, but nothing like this before. So I'm going to put my mascara on, see what I can do to fix this, and I'll be right back. So the Laura Mercier Serum Concealer, not a great first time out. I'm going to try to keep working with this. It may be user error, but I did follow the directions. I used my fingers. That didn't work, so I tried a brush. The brush picked up the product underneath. So maybe what I need to do is try to go in with just better prep under my eyes, maybe even an under eye primer, use a primer on the bottom too, and try to use it that way. But right now, I don't know if you can see, but my under eyes look older than 53. And I now have a little crinkle over there that I set with powder that wasn't there when I started videoing. So So I actually have more wrinkles under my eyes. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it today. I'm going to keep trying this product, and I'll definitely do a speed review after I've tried it different ways. I'll give you my final verdict. Unfortunately, this did not make a great first impression. And I'm supposed to be on a Zoom meeting tonight and showing my face. So I guess I'm going to have to just dazzle them with my brilliance because my under eyes are not looking good. So anyway, I hope this review was helpful. Stay tuned for a future update and have a good evening.